What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are once again talking about the New York Mets and their potential trade targets leading up to the 2021 MLB trade deadline. As we have discussed in previous 3 videos on the channel that have done really well regarding multiple players, and please make sure to check it out in the description down below, and more videos like that are to come, I assure you. But let's talk about one singular player here, because as we know, Zach Scott, the GM for the Mets, has stated over the past couple weeks that there's one thing that the Mets definitely want to add by the deadline. It is in fact starting pitching, with guys like Carlos Carrasco is yet to be even with the club and make a start. Noah Syndergaard on the outside looking in to possibly even pitch during the season. And now Joey Lucchesi, Churv as we love to call him, now being out for the entirety of the season thanks to Tommy John surgery. Wishing him the best for Joey Fuego. But the Mets need to add depth to this starting rotation. So let's talk about the cream of the crop and Jose Berrios, the star 27-year-old pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. So that's what we'll be breaking down in today's video. Everything there's to know about Berrios, his game, what kind of package could the Mets possibly use to land a guy like Berrios, what is the possibility of this actually happening, and so much more. So as always, make sure you stay all the way until the end of the video for all the details and all my thoughts on Berrios and what could be had here with the New York Mets. If you guys end up enjoying this kind of Mets content and you want to see more great Mets content like this, do not hesitate from smashing that like and subscribe button, sharing this video with your friends, put on the notification bell, all those great things. Thank you so much for the continued support, guys. Now let's head right into today's video. While all else has failed for the Minnesota Twins this season, especially when it comes to pitching, the one bright spot has surely been Jose Berrios. The 27-year-old, originally acquired with the 32nd overall pick back in 2012 by the Twins, was deemed as the next best thing, the next true ace coming into town in Minnesota, but up until this season, that simply has not been the case, as Berrios has repped right around a 3.5 to 4 ERA, struggling a little bit in his young career, but now his 6th season in, Berrios is looking as determined as ever with a career best currently 3.41 ERA, a 7.2 win-loss record, and just shy of 100 strikeouts at the time of recording this. So between the Twins looking like they will surely be sellers at the deadline, already in preliminary discussions to trade some of their veterans away, according to some reports and rumors out there, and with there currently being a stalemate with no progress and a contract extension for Berrios, in which he is arbitration eligible at the end of the season, it is more than likely that Berrios' time in Minnesota is coming to an end, and for the Twins to maximize his value, it would be by dealing him this season. Now time for a quick word from today's sponsor in Manscaped. As many of you guys know, Manscaped has been a sponsor on the channel for a little while now, and I'm very grateful for that. And given their continued support, it's about time that I express my complete satisfaction that comes from their latest trimmer, that being in the Lawnmower 4.0. Manscaped has once again engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, and now feel more confident than ever shaving my boys. Between having a multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock, to the 4,000 LED spotlight that can be turned on and off as you wish for a more precise shave, and even allowing you to customize your own trim with additional guard lengths with sizes 1 through 4, this Manscaped 4.0 lawnmower truly has it all for the best trimming experience a man could ask for. So what are you waiting for, guys? Head over to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with my code WardyNYM20. Again, that's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use code WardyNYM20. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. So what makes this discussion all that more interesting is a video I did a couple weeks ago regarding trade targets for the Mets. Again, check it out in the description down below if you haven't, but it has to do with 5 starting pitchers I could see the Mets going after, and I didn't have Jose Berrios in there. And a lot of you guys wondered, Tyler, why don't you have Berrios as an option? I think he'd be a really strong fit, a phenomenal fit even. My response simply was this, that 1 is contract status, and 2, what it would take to get him, it would be too much of a haul. It just is unlikely. And don't get me wrong, I still stand by those to an extent, but really the extension talk is what has really changed my mind to an extent, knowing that Jose Berrios and the Twins are not close, and if the Twins are in fact sold on the notion that Berrios will not stay with them long term, whether it's that he's going to get dealt at this year's trade deadline, or he signs a 1-year deal, possibly in arbitration, gets dealt next year as a possible rental, or he just hits free agency. Either way, it seems like Berrios is going to be gone sooner than later for the Twins, should they not feel sold on actually getting a deal done. So how do the Mets come into this discussion now? Well, as Zach Scott said already, they are trying to add starting pitching depth. And when you look at their options right now, with Joey Fuego now out and David Peterson, I'm sorry guys, I like David Peterson a lot. I think he has plenty of potential, but is he the exact starter you want in the back of this rotation if the Mets have a deep run and hopefully have a deep playoff run possibly? Do you want him to possibly start in playoffs rather? That's something I don't think the Mets are sold on, because I know from a Mets fan perspective, I'm surely not right now. So I'm sure they're weighing their options there with the inconsistencies, the uncertainties that come with it, and experienced guy in Peterson, and not knowing what you're going to get in Carlos Carrasco when he's healthy, whenever he's going to be healthy within the coming weeks, hopefully sooner than later for the Mets, who has yet to even throw a pitch with them on that 2-year deal still. And then Noah Syndergaard, who may pitch this year. We don't know for sure though. He'll be picking things up back in September. A lot of uncertainties there. So you want to add on. And what would Berrios bring to this team? Well, he would bring a lot to them. And he already has a connection with the club with guys like Jeremy Hefner, who's the pitching coach for the Mets during his time when he was with the Minnesota Twins. He's worked with Berrios. He knows him fairly well, to my knowledge, from all that I've seen. But the question is, can the Mets actually get a deal done for a guy like Berrios, and what would it look like, and how does it fare versus other teams possibly showing interest? Because let's be real, if Berrios is for sure going to be dealt at the trade deadline, a lot of teams are going to be interested, including the team in the Bronx and the Yankees that are desperate for pitching and could overspend. Let's take a look at this tweet here from the past week from SNY that discussed a couple prospects they could see being dealt for Jose Berrios' services. And let me first start off by saying, no, this would not happen. The Mets are not going to be selling the farm. They're not going to be giving up the farm for a guy like Berrios. No matter how good he is, they're not going to be giving up that much. Mets are not going to be dealing with these guys. But if there's one prospect that I think the Mets could very much consider in a deal, either for Berrios or someone else along his level that could really help them long term, it is in fact Ronnie Mauricio. And the only reason for this is that Ronnie Mauricio is blocked in the future. He's a shortstop, switching shortstop. He gained 40 pounds in the offseason. He's looking great. He's looking a lot more firm. He's swinging the bat well. In Brooklyn with the Cyclones, with Francisco Alvarez and Brett Baty, the big three-head monster of the prospect pool for the Mets, their top three, they're all doing really well there. He's done very good, and he looked really solid in spring as well with the Mets in his short stint. But knowing that you have Francisco Lindor for the next decade at short, what are you going to do with Mauricio? And knowing that third base, you have Brett Baty and Mark Vientos there as possible options should they not be dealt. And second base is going to be Jeff McNeil. I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. So that's the only reason why I'm picking Mauricio here. So there's one prospect that's among the big three for the Mets I think that they would be willing to actually listen. It is a guy like Mauricio. And that would help the Twins for sure, as they're going to be in a retool/rebuild kind of thing. They don't like heavy contracts, so I don't see the Mets really giving up any guys on the roster right now, unless it's a young guy like possibly a David Peterson I could see potentially fitting. Knowing Peterson's age and bringing starting pitching depth longer term for the Twins with all that control on his contract, that's possible. So that's something to take into consideration. But other than that, I don't see what else the Mets would be giving up, knowing the Twins don't want to take on big contracts. They want to get rid of that Josh Donaldson contract as it is. They work with a smaller payroll. We know this, they're a smaller market team. But is this a better deal than, say, what the Yankees could give, what other teams could give that are trying to make a deep push in the playoffs this year? I'm honestly not sure, and I don't think we'll have an answer to that until the actual trade deadline happens and we see if Berrios was dealt or not, and for what exactly. But I want to talk about now what exactly Berrios would bring with the club and how he would impact things, because when you look at the rotation for the Mets right now, if you bring in a guy like Berrios in a situation where, say, you don't trade away David Peterson, you have Peterson that you got to figure out what you're going to be doing with in the future. Again, it's not going to be a worry, assuming that you lock up Berrios long term, which is exactly what you would be pushing to do. Should you trade for him, cough up a big prospect? What are you going to do with one of Marcus Stroman and Noah Syndergaard? Because one of them is going to basically be kicked out of the rotation, unless maybe you kick a guy like Carlos Carrasco out of town before he even started. I don't see that happening. So that really could impact things for a guy like Stroh and his contract year, and same thing with Syndergaard, one of the two. I think Stroh might be the odd man out in that situation, depending on how they would go about things. As good of a year as he's had, I don't know what they would be sold on. Maybe they go to a 6-man rotation. All I know is they would have endless possibilities, and Berrios would surely take them to that next level. And what stands out the most to me about Berrios, should the Mets land him, is it's awfully reminiscent of a guy like Taijuan Walker, in my opinion. Because what has Taijuan Walker done? Well, he signed a 2-year deal with the Mets. The Mets were the only team to offer a contract to him, and Walker is in the prime of his career now, hitting his peak. He has not been this good ever in his career, and he's now doing it with the Mets, and that was thanks to his injuries and really not playing that much the past couple years. So he didn't have a big market to work with after having a stellar 2020 short season. But now you get a guy like Berrios, who is very much in his prime, has yet to his peak. I think the Mets can get the best potential out of him and make him a better pitcher than what he has ever been in his career and beyond. So that's what's so enticing about a guy like him, given his age at 27, knowing that there's so much to be intrigued about there. When you look at his pitches right now, he has 4 pitches in his arsenal. He's got his curveball, which is his put-out pitch at 84 miles per hour on average. That is the one where he gets the most strikeouts with. Usually it's nasty with that break. Then you have the changeup at 85, which he doesn't use all that much, the sinker, which is nasty at 94, and the four-seamer at 94. So you have a lot of options in his arsenal for Berrios, and he would bring so much to the Mets should they want to land him. So Mets fans, let me me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Jose Berrios will land with the New York Mets? Do you think he'll even be dealt at the trade deadline? And if so, what kind of trade package do you see actually making sense for both sides in the situation? Or do you think the Mets are better off going for more of a depth starter that won't cost you as much, won't hurt the farm, and you can still be building for not just this year but beyond to have more World Series aspirations? Or do you think Berrios simply is just not the right fit? Let me know it all in the comments below, guys. If you did in fact enjoy this kind of Mets content and you want to see more great Mets content like this, please do not hesitate from smashing that like and subscribe button, sharing this video with your friends, on the notification bell, all those great things. Thank you so much for the continued support, guys. It means the world to me. Help us get to 8K subs by August. For all my lovely Mets fans out there that enjoy consistent Mets content, for the best Mets channel here on YouTube, for the fastest and largest Mets channel here on YouTube, this is the place to be. So thank you so much again, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you soon.